Spartan TV.
If you like this video, give a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe at the end.
Hello and welcome back once again to another video. In this one, we're at a recycling centre where we've got two drains up on top of this building where people bring all their recycling up to chuck them in the big bins. Two drains up here are blocked. We also have two sewage blockages to deal with. So if you enjoy this video, please leave a like, leave a comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank you. So to jet this one, I'm going to be using the light leader hose with a forward facer. Now, you can probably see up on the little wall on the right hand side, there's some leaves there. There's some on the floor. Now, the bin to our right hand side is where people tip their garden waste. Now this one seems like it's going to be a nice simple job. As you can see, the water is already flowing away. It is still holding a little bit of water in the bottom. Unfortunately, you can't see that on the camera. But behind me, there is another one of these pots. So we're going to jet down that one as well and get that one clear. Well, it seems like we've got this one clear, so let's move across to the pot that's on the other side, and we'll do exactly the same. So before we had a chance to turn the jetter on and get camera in the right spot, the water did start seeping away, but as you can see, it's still holding water in the bottom. So let's jet down this one and see if we can get this one flowing properly as well. Well, it's nice to have a simple job to start the day off. So let's give this a bit of a wash down up here. All that's left to do on this one is put the cover back on. If you can call it a cover, I'd call it a cone, to be honest. And this cover here that's not particularly great either. Well, with that job done, who fancies doing a sewage blockage? Now, this is a customer that called us up, said I've got some block drains, my shower's not draining, and turns out all their manholes are blocked. They had a plumber out, the plumbers referred it on to us, and apparently it's absolutely full of wet wipes. And the customer told me that when I got there as well. So let's go see if we can jet it clear. And it's a bit of an interesting setup here. So here is the first manhole, so let's get the cover off and see what we've got. You can see just along the back edge of the cover where the sewage has been overflowing at this chamber. So yeah, they were definitely right on this one. There's definitely a few wet wipes in here. So let's see if we can jet down with the spear jet, but first we got to find the outlet. To do that, I've got a handy little bar with a hook on the end, which is quite good for feeling the channel and feeling around for any pipes coming in. Now, I think there's definitely a few wet wipes in here. So we'll give this chamber a bit of a clean round and then we'll see what's going on in the other chambers. Right, so next chamber, let's have a look in this one and see what this one's looking like. I would have thought this one's dropped with the rest of it, but we'll get the cover off and give this one a good wash around as well. Now, the interesting thing with this one is it's flowing in the same direction as the other chamber, but it's not connected to the other chamber. Now, I couldn't quite work that one out. I don't quite know how they've plumbed this in. Wherever there's a line that runs just short of the end of this chamber that then picks up the two. Not entirely sure, not without camera in it. So now, walking down the side of the property, we've got a run of 3 manholes, so we're going to pop these up as well and see what's going on in these. So it looks like these are sewage manholes as well, so we're going to have to give these a clean round. we've got a few roots growing in from this chamber, so I'm just going to try and break them off with the pry bar. So I was expecting this drain to run back into these manholes over here, and turns out it doesn't. So it's a bit of an odd setup. Like I said, I think there's a line running down the other side of that wall, and all these chambers connect into that. Another interesting thing about these drains is, for some reason, they've got this half channel in this chamber, the 6-inch. But if you look over on the right hand side, the pipe going out is actually 4-inch. So I don't quite know why they've used the 6-inch half channel. But it seems like one of those properties that's been added onto over the years, because every single one of these manholes is different. Well, it looks like we've got this one all clear. I got the customer to run some water and things like that. Unfortunately, I completely forgot to film it. But yeah, everything's running all good. So another blockage ticked off our list, so let's move on to another one. This time we are going to a school. It's a job we've done before. I can't remember when, but we've done this one before, and generally it's a case of wash the manhole around, get lots of water flowing inside, and it generally runs away. So let's go look at that one. Well, we're here at the school. I've already popped the cover up, and this is what we've got to deal with. Now, I've always said it, I think that high-level pipe over on the left is the issue, because the sewage drops down, hits the channel in the middle, and then just sits on that side of the chamber, blocking everything up. So we're going to get some water going, and wash this around, get some water flowing inside, and hopefully get it all nice and clear. Of course, one of the main problems with this site is it is a school. Now, you can't stop kids chucking loads and loads of toilet paper down the toilet, which I think is also half the issue here. But yeah, that high level pipe is the main thing.
Alright?
You might need somebody to flush it.
Yeah, would you be able to run in and flush some toilets today?
So it's in the glass minutes in there.
Yeah.
But should I just go down the line and back to
Yeah, obviously keep an eye on and make sure they're not overflowing, but a bit of water behind it should push it all through.
So just off camera is a little rod and eye for that top pipe, and I'm just going to run some water down it just to flush that bit through. But yeah, you can see how everything just drops down. There's actually a little bit of paper sticking there now. Over there, that's where the cap is. But yeah, I think that is definitely our issue. This bottom pipe goes up to a rainwater gully. I'm just going to push the hose out there just to flush it through. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, please click the like button, leave me a comment down below, let me know you've made it all the way to the end of the video. Interactions definitely help here on YouTube, as I'm sure you already know. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100,000. My daughter wants a play button, so I've kind of got to do it at this point, haven't I? But yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one.
Please like and subscribe and leave a comment.